Hey y'all, Mac on the mic here. Have you ever wanted to try attacking drywall projects and learning how to finish it? I'm going to show you some tips and tricks today, how I do it, that help you out to apply your first coat. So we obviously have drywall already hung right up here. You got your factory seams that are always put together. We have a tight seam. So my first thing is to double check on all our seams to see if they're tight. Also, if you have any gaps to the sides here, you usually tend to want to fill those in first before doing anything next. Let's go to the mud station. For filling up those gaps, they are usually talking about this. This is a non-premix, it's a powder compound of drywall mud. With the numbers on the side of the bag, it's usually given its time limit of when it starts to set up. So with we're doing the mixing on this stuff, you don't want to try doing too much at a time. Just have a little bit of a cup of water to help you balance out to see how much you need. So a lot of times you'll see everyone using like a putty knife to start mixing it. They also do sell these nice mixing heads. Going through, we're still a little watery, so we keep on adding. The consistency that you want, pretty much almost like Cool Whip. Another one. There it is. Now it's starting to get a little bit thicker. And this is when a putty knife to kind of scrape your edge to get that loose dry stuff into your mix. Because if you don't mix that up, that will actually get into the drywall and turn into like little chunks. Look at that consistency. Then with this step, you can pretty much use a 4-inch knife, 6-inch knife. Let's get back in there and get started. So with this process, we're trying to fill any voids for any mud or tape that can sink into the inside corner. This helps to give a better finish. Pretty much pushing on the inside. Grab a good scoop of it and feed it into that cavity. Once you got a good stretch, take your knife, applying a little bit of pressure. This will give it a better surface for the mud tape to attach to. When mudding over your screw nails, you want to always make sure you got good coverage. You don't want to just go like that. All right, good to go. We can sand that out. Your arm is going to be tired. So after when you just applying the mud, you want to do a tight scrape to go through. When you're taking it, you want it to go smooth. Make sure you apply a little bit of pressure. Now with these in drywall, it does tend to shrink. So you do want to apply 3 coats to that. It will give it an easy sand and also make it look perfect. So another tip too with working with drywall mud is always make sure you have clean tools. I always have a brush, a little terry cloth too, and a bucket of water. Cleaner tools make a better finish, because if you try applying mud with a knife that looks like this, you're not going to have a good day. Not one bit. So let's get to cleaning. And that's what your knife should look like after every time you use it. Next is the choice of tape that we have to use. So these tapes are 3 different types of tape. You got your mesh roll tape that looks like a checkerboard going all the way across. One side is sticky. Paper tape is where you have to apply mud first, then apply this to get it to stick. This is designed, could be used for your seams and then also your inside corners. This one is called Fiber Fuse. It is a fiberglass mesh roll tape, which works really good on a lot of applications from drywall to plasterwork. I'm going to show you how I install an inside corner tape. All the way through. Want to get a good scoop. It's going into that corner where I want it to sit. Once the mud is applied, I already pre-bend my tape. I am taking the tape and tucking it in with my fingers, just very so slightly. Once that's seated, grab your mud pan and your mud knife once again. You want to start from one edge and work your way down. And how I'm working it down, this side of the blade is just kind of riding against that corner, putting a little bit of pressure, and I'm just taking my hand and just bringing it down. And remember, when you're putting pressure, you don't want to put a lot. You don't want to put all your force into it, because this blade, this knife, can cut through this paper. So it's just an easy. Now you want to take your knife and then you want to manipulate it. See how I bend it like that? That's the same process. For the look, as you can see, this is a good coverage. It's got good bonding to the tape. If it looks like that underneath, that the tape is bonding to your mud and your drywall. Now it's time to do your seam. For your first time, I would recommend using this mesh tape, the one side stick. It's going to be your best friend, easy to apply and easy to work with. To apply it, you want to use this tape, taking it, and have the tape be 50-50 with your seam. And it's really easy. You can just take it down, take your utility knife, and cut it off. It's easy as grabbing your mud pan and laying your mud down. Taking your seam, I always start with the outside corners. Manipulate that knife. Bend that edge, take off that edge. Then a smooth pull, a little bit of pressure. We'll get it perfect every time. It's good for a first coat. That is your first coat. Sometimes you can't get it perfect. Not a big deal. It's okay. Your second coat will make it easier to apply, and it'll help you get a smoother, cleaner look that you're looking for.